got a serious situation. The engine room has caught fire. On top of that, the fire suppressor is down because of the first explosion. I've dispatched the engineer to fix it. I'll let you know when it's done. But until then, prevent the fire from spreading. I'm counting on you.
Dean, do you copy? We found out the exact number of people trapped inside. There are 4 people trapped inside.
How could it explode like this? Dean and Craig were there at the time of the explosion.
The Senator wasn't too lucky either. another explosion! Dean, do you copy? We found out the exact number of people trapped inside. There are 5 people trapped inside.
I can't breathe! Hurry!
Why don't you help him? Spray the center of the fire. him!